Hello folks, Scott with Dallas Paint Correction and Auto Detailing here in Dallas, Texas. I want to make a technical video and something I feel pretty strongly about when it comes to claying a vehicle. This is something that we have to do from time to time when we use a clay bar, whether it's a synthetic clay bar or a clay bar like this made by Clay Magic. We use a clay bar to remove surface bonded contaminants, stuff like ferrous metals and iron that will stick to the paint. And there's other contaminants that's called industrial fallouts, chemicals that will stick to the paint that will not be removed when you just use a traditional car soap. What I want to talk about is, if you've been watching my channel for a while, let's say a customer calls me and said, Scott, I haven't maintained my car all that well. It's been years since I've had a detailer work on it. I wash it every once in a while. It's kind of neglected. I always appreciate when they're honest with me. It lets me know exactly what I'm walking into so I can give my customer the best results. But what will happen, like a car like this one that hasn't been maintained all that well, it probably hasn't been clayed at, ever since it's been on the road. I think it's a 2000 Pontiac Grand Prix or something, Grand Am. I don't even think they make these things anymore. But this is an important tip for a lot of you new guys, and I don't see a lot of guys talking about this on YouTube. When we're claying a vehicle, or you're coming across a car that's been seriously neglected, I just did a review about Meguiar's Mirror Bright automobile shampoo, or if you're a fan of Adam's soap or any other traditional car soap that cannot remove waxes and sealants, you're probably going to lose the game if you're going to show up at that client's home and wash their car and clay it, and I'll tell you why. What you want to use, I'm a huge fan of Purple Power. This happens to be their vehicle boat wash, right? I'm going to wash a severely neglected vehicle that I'm going to clay as well with a traffic film removing soap. I want to try to remove as much traffic film, as much contaminants as I can before I even go to clay the vehicle. And using a stronger soap is going to help you when you go to clay the vehicle after you wash it. That's I think that just kind of makes sense. You want more cleaning power available to you. The very next step I take, folks, I haven't talked about this a lot. I've been doing this for several years. I want to share it with you. After I have washed the car with something like Purple Power Vehicle and Boat Wash, I've given myself the highest probability of removing more traffic film and contaminants off the paint than a traditional car soap that can't remove waxes and sealants. I am then going to do what I call like a wipe down with a paint prep, which technically, folks, is called a body solvent. That's kind of, my industry doesn't really give you all the facts. A paint prep has been around for a long time. Body shops, if you actually walked into a body shop and asked them, hey, what do you guys use for a paint prep? They're probably going to look at you like you have three eyes and go, oh, do you mean a body solvent? That's what these things are. Paint preps are really body solvents. They have the ability to remove greases and waxes. But when I use this, especially on a neglected car that hasn't been clayed in a long time, I wash it with a traffic film removing soap, and then I go around the car quickly. And what I'll do is I'll use it like a detail spray. Even though it's a body solvent, I'll spray a little bit on the panel, right? Get a little bit of that stuff on the panel. I'll take my microfiber towel and simply massage it into the paint and just kind of buff it to perfection using a paint prep, kind of like a detail spray. Why do I do this? Well, what I want to do is take a car that hasn't been clayed, seriously neglected over the last 10 years, and when I touch the body, I go, oh my God, there's so many bonded contaminants. If I use this soap, the traffic film remover soap, and then I paint prep or body solvent the car quickly like a detail spray around the vehicle, I'll take a car that feels like it hasn't been clayed in 10 years and it will become much more manageable. It'll feel like a car that just hasn't been clayed in the last 2 years or 3 years. What that's going to translate into, folks, and this is crucial, you'll have to remember a clay bar is abrasive. It can micro-mar, and it will micro-mar the paint. You may not be able to see it with your eye, but if you've got a heavily contaminated vehicle and you've got to work the clay bar over the panel for a long period of time, yes, you might even see some of the micro-marring immediately after using a clay bar. So in my opinion, use a great traffic film remover on a vehicle that's been seriously neglected. If you're going to be claying or not, it's still kind of important. And then use a body solvent. This happens to be made by dupli-color, or rust-oleum makes a great body solvent. I've talked about them both in my videos. I love it. They're easy to get your hands on. They're extremely effective. Now what happens is a car that hasn't been clayed in 10 years, now it only feels like it hasn't been clayed in the last 2 or 3 years. What that translates into, I will not be on the panel all that long. My objective, if I can make it possible for me, is to try to remove all the contaminants off the paint. I would love to be only going after ferrous metals. That's not going to be realistic on a car that's been neglected for 10 years. But the fact now that this car only feels like it hasn't been clayed in the last 2 years, I'm not going to be on the panel all that long. It's going to make my claying faster, safer on the paint, and easier on me. Folks, this is one of the biggest tips I can give you when it comes to claying your vehicle. Try to incorporate a body solvent, a paint prep immediately after washing your vehicle, and watch your claying service or your claying option on the vehicle go smoother, faster. This is not an easy process. It's kind of aggravating. It takes effort and time. Sometimes it can take up to an hour to clay a 4-door sedan. I want to cut that time in half. I also want to reduce the amount of time I'm on the surface of the paint, either with a traditional clay bar or a synthetic clay bar. I want to limit my micro marring. I want to try to only go after contaminants that cannot be removed, either with a traffic film remover soap or a body solvent. It's just a very effective way. You might be saying, well, that means more time for me. I got to go around the car with this body solvent after washing it. Well, that's only going to take you minutes, and it's going to cut down your claying time and also reduce marring. I love you all. I wanted to share that tip with you. That's been an important tip for me in my business over the last several years, and I've cut my time down as far as when I have to clay a vehicle. I've also cut down any marring I may potentially do to the paint. It's incredibly crucial for me. It's crucial for me to give my clients the best results. Again, this is abrasive. So in my opinion, the best time to use a body solvent or a paint prep is whenever you're going to use something abrasive on the vehicle. Use it before you clay. Use it before you do any type of paint correction. That's kind of a maybe Scott's little tip about body solvents. When to use it? Anytime you're going to use any type of abrasive material on the car, whether it be a clay bar or you're using a compound and a buffing pad to do any type of paint correction. I love you all. I hope that helps you out. I think you'll find, especially for you new guys that are getting into the business, if you're just fooling around with traditional car soaps and then going to clay the vehicle, you'll find yourself with a lot of contaminants on the bar. You'll also find yourself on the car for a long period of time. Do yourself a favor, get some dupli-color, rust-oleum paint prep, body solvent, and shoot it down on the car like a detail spray real quick, and watch your process go much smoother. Want to help you guys out, be more productive, more efficient, more profitable, and not kill yourself. I'm getting older. I've had to learn some tricks along the way, and I wanted to share it with you. Love you all. Talk to you guys soon.